Fischer, the Indiana Hoosiers radio play-by-play man for decades, is joining me now, a Hall of Famer for a big game. Thank you so much for your time. Wonderful honor to speak with you.
Well, thanks for having me.
Okay, so not only is it time for these big football games, but you're doing double duty because we're at the beginning stages still of basketball season. So talk about what your Saturday is going to look like.
Well, it's going to be busy to say the least. We're going to do the broadcast of the Indiana Louisville basketball game at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. That will take place with our pregame show at 1:15 in the afternoon. Tip is at 2:15 or 2:18 or 2:27, depending on what television decides in that regard. And then, of course, once we get through with the basketball game, we'll have a couple hours to get over to Lucas Oil Stadium here in Indianapolis, which is about a 15-20 minute walk if you want to walk over there. And in this cold weather, I don't want to walk, so I'm going to try and get somebody to take me. But we'll have a couple of hours to get ready for the football game, which will take place at 8 o'clock, and our pregame starts at 7. So we're going to be pretty busy on Saturday without question. And I haven't done a football and a basketball game in the same day in my career, and I've been doing this for a long time. So it'll be interesting to see if the voice holds up. We'll see.
Oh boy. We might have to have you back on Monday just so we can check on your voice. So I hear you, and I think this has got to be a labor of love. It's going to be laborious for sure, but it's got to be a labor of love.
It is a labor of love. I've had to answer that phone and hang up on whoever it was. I'm sorry about that. No, it is a labor of love. I've been doing play-by-play for almost 60 years now. 53 of those years have been here at Indiana. As most people know, Indiana football has really not been all that great through the years.
Yeah.
At one point, up until a few weeks ago, or actually the last 2 years, I think Indiana was the losingest football program in the Big Ten and in the country in Division One. So Curt Cignetti has come on board, and he has taken over a program that was given up for dead by many people and has turned it completely around. Last year, of course, they made the college football playoff for the first time. This year, they've tied for the Big Ten championship regular season with Ohio State, the #1 team in the country, and Indiana's ranked #2 in the country right now. So this has been a renaissance for Indiana fans.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. And talk a little bit about that type of energy based on the turnaround. Because, for years, Indiana was known as a basketball school.
Right. It really was. And it was justified in that regard because Indiana had won 3 national championships. Now, that hadn't happened in the last 25, 30 years in basketball. But and right now, everybody would say, well, Indiana's a football school, at least from what Coach Cignetti's been able to do. But it has been different. There's no question. And the energy that Curt Cignetti has brought to the table with our fan base has just been phenomenal. We hadn't had many sellouts at all through the years that I've been here. And yet this program has sold out, I think, the last 4 games last year at home, along with almost every game this season, were all sellouts. So there's energy here like we've never seen before, certainly not in my lifetime. And without doubt, this is a football team that has a chance to not only win the Big Ten championship, but if they get and play the way that they're capable of playing, they could very easily win a national championship as well. And that would be saying something unbelievable for most people.
That would be huge. And of course, we have so many Indiana fans, even here in the city of Chicago. I co-anchor with an IU grad. So there are plenty of Hoosiers up here. So let me ask you this. Last year, if we stick with football for a moment, and I do want to talk about the basketball team as well, but if we stick with football for a moment, last year there was so much buildup for those latter games, and then people started to say, wait, they didn't really feel like that team had been tested. And then when they were tested, they showed that maybe they weren't ready for that moment. This year, do you feel like we're seeing a different team and a different moment that may test them, but with a different outcome?
There's no question they've been tested this year already through three ball games that most people circuit on the calendar during the regular season. The Iowa ball game at Iowa, the Penn State ball game at Penn State, and the game at Oregon. All three of those games were road games. Indiana won all three of them. We don't think there's much question that this team is ready for this big moment. Now, whether they beat Ohio State or not, we'll have to wait and see. But there's no doubt that what Curt Cignetti has done here is he's done a remarkable job of bringing his philosophy to this school and to this program, and he's proven it. I mean, that's why he says, "Well, I win. Google me." so, so all you got to know is that we have a lot of belief that this team is very capable of winning this game against Ohio State. And let's face it, Ohio State's reputation, they're a perennial powerhouse. There's no doubt about that. They're one of the best programs, not just in the country, but I'm talking about over the years. They've always been one of the best programs in the history of college football. And it's going to be a challenge. There's no doubt about that. But this football team this year is different than last year's in that sense. They've been able to meet the big moments and to win those games. And I think they can do it again. But of course, we'll find that out tomorrow night.
We shall see. It is such a huge game. And so it will be, do you think that people, maybe your other people in town are going to be doing what you're doing, like going from one game to the next?
I don't think there's any doubt about that because our basketball team, of course, is playing in the early part of the afternoon against the Louisville Cardinals, a team that's ranked 6th in the country right now. But both Indiana's basketball team and Louisville's basketball team lost this week on Wednesday night. Louisville got beat by Arkansas, which is a really great program under John Calipari now. And, of course, Indiana got beat with a roster that nobody has. You still need a program to figure out who a lot of these kids are that are playing for IU's basketball team. But they were unbeaten up until Wednesday night. But they got beat on Wednesday by a Minnesota team that had a lot of injuries and some problems. And yet Indiana fell in that contest. So there's going to be a lot of question marks in regard to the basketball team, but I think there's a belief that Indiana basketball is back too because Darren DeVries, who's the new coach, has done a remarkable job putting the roster together. And yet, even though they lost that ball game the other night, I still think people believe in the way they're playing right now and that it's going to get better and better as these years go on.
Yeah, so much conversations about these new coaches, whether we're talking about the Bears game, on Sunday or Cignetti. And I remember watching him when he was at James Madison University, and you're right. His reputation precedes him in terms of his confidence. But when it comes to Indiana basketball, I think back to like the Bobby Knight days and how far they've come.
Yeah, well, and basketball has struggled a little bit over the last few years. There's no question. Coach Knight was a phenomenal coach, very controversial. We all know that. But at the same time, what he was able to do while he was in Indiana and winning 3 national championships, 76, 81, and 87. And of course, in 76, they went unbeaten, and they are the last college basketball team in the country that went undefeated. So nobody's done it since 76 to be an undefeated basketball team at the college level. And that's still saying something. But again, this program, Tom Crean did a great job when he came in to rebuild the program under some circumstances back in the mid-2000s and took over and did a nice job for Indiana of getting it back to national prominence once again. But the last 8 years or so have just been really a struggle for this program. And they've had winning seasons, but they haven't made the NCAA tournament a lot of those years. And that's always been what Indiana fans expect. At least get to the NCAA tournament. If they do that, there's a modicum of people that would say, well, it was a good season. If they don't get to the NCAA tournament, they go, it's been a bad year again.
They say we need a new coach. Another new coach. Yeah. Okay, so what if, just hypotheticals here, what if that basketball game goes into like overtime? How do you stretch your athletic skills of the day?
Why did you have to bring that up here?
Inquiring minds want to know.
I understand. Well, hopefully the voice holds out. I think it will. I had a ball game that I did last Friday, a week ago today, that was with Purdue, our arch rival, and we played on a night game on NBC. And it took us all the way to 11:30 or so before we got off the air. By the time I got back home and got to bed, it was
Oh
around 1:30, 2
my.
o'clock in the morning. And I got up at 8 o'clock the next morning and had to go to a basketball game at 11 a.m. with our pregame, and 12 noon was our tip-off. So I've already done this once, maybe with a little more time in between ball games, but I still feel like the voice will hold up and we'll be fine.
Oh my goodness. And for those of us who are novices compared to you, how do you prepare your voice? Will you be on like a voice rest tonight?
Well, I've been doing interviews today because a lot of people think because I am old and have been here for 53 years as I use play-by-play guy, they all want to interview you because you've got a different perspective, so to speak. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I've never done anything really in prep for my voice other than I do drink green tea every morning, and I've been doing that for years with honey in it. And I'll probably have 2 or 3 bottles of that with me because I make my own green tea now.
Uh-huh.
Make it. I basically boil up a 2 gallon pot, and then throw honey into it, about a cup and a half of honey into it because I like the sweet taste, and I drink that all the time. So it helps. There's no doubt.
It's your own secret sauce. I see. I
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
Don, great speaking with you today. Like I said, really an honor to be able to chat with you. I hope you do get some time to rest before you make your marathon tomorrow. We'll be thinking about you.
Well, I appreciate that. Thanks for having me. I enjoyed it.
Absolutely. Take care.